To the other side of the race, specifically two guys who've been spending a lot of time in New Hampshire lately and were both back yesterday, Donald Trump and Dr. Ben Carson. In just a minute, Emily Rooney will bring us up to speed on Carson, but first, here's Adam Riley on his day with Donald Trump.
They're only getting better. They're getting better.
Catch Donald Trump in person like a few thousand people did in Keene, and you get a new sense of how his brain works. Put simply, he's not a linear thinker.
The fact is something's happening. Something incredible is happening.
Instead, Trump hops from topic to topic, quickly and confusingly. In the first 10 minutes, Trump referenced his poll numbers, the last GOP debate, the Iran deal, taxes, illegal immigration, Bo Bergdahl, and his own star power.
Pan out on these people, please. CNN and all of you live cameras, pan out.
Tying it all together, Trumpisms, those audible thought bubbles that can make you cringe.
To African-American people that do such a great job.
But can also sound almost poetic.
And it was such a beautiful day. It was a lunch.
At times, Trump's jazzy improvisation left the crowd baffled.
So let's talk a little bit about ISIS, and let's talk about our country. We spent, thank you.
But eventually, Trump settled down, focusing on taxes and the Middle East. And by the end, the candidate and his audience were in sync.
We will indeed make America great again.
After a quick stop in the overflow room, Trump headed for the exits. On the way, I asked him about Mitt Romney's promise that Trump won't be the Republican nominee.
Well, Mitt feels badly because I've been hard on him. He lost, he choked. I've told everybody, we cannot let that happen again.
And then Trump stepped outside into a farewell that made his speech pale in comparison.
Can we please get a selfie? Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Adam Riley, WGBH News.
I'm Emily Rooney in Exeter, New Hampshire, where about 200 seniors packed into a lecture hall waiting to hear the latest in a series of presidential hopefuls who have stopped in. It was a well-informed crowd that included a mix of party affiliations. From the get-go, Dr. Ben Carson was understated and hard to hear. He talked about the nation's beginnings and his own lineage.
You know, my parents got divorced early on. My mother was one of 24 children, got married at age 13.
But a lot of his message was about taking responsibility.
We now have an $18+ trillion national debt.
It wasn't until the final few minutes when he took a total of 3 questions that the event came alive.
Can you tell us what the truth is behind Planned Parenthood?
Margaret Sanger was a eugenicist. She believed that people like me should be eliminated or kept under control. And so I'm not real fond of her, to be honest with you.
Nor is he fond of the government involvement with Planned Parenthood. The crowd gave him mixed reviews.
I don't agree with him on Planned Parenthood.
I agree with him. I really do.
I started to get tachycardia.
As for his comments on Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger,
this woman went to jail trying to pass out 10-cent pamphlets to women who wanted to limit their fertility. And I think she should be sainted.
I sought a little clarity on that, too. On Margaret Sanger, for a minute, are you trying to say that she would have eliminated the black race or eliminated certain characteristics that she found unattractive in you?
No, I'm talking about the black race.
You think she would have eliminated the black race?
Go back and read her writings.
I did. Couldn't find it. Did find the part about where Martin Luther King accepted an award in her name.
Tachycardia, love that. Emily Rooney
great.
joins me now. Yeah. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you cover it. I understand the Trump phenomenon, I think, pretty well. I understand the Fiorina thing. I don't get the Carson attraction at all. You were there. Can you explain it to me?
Well, that's why I went up there. I really wanted to find out what that was all about, why he's polling at 13%. And frankly, Jim, I couldn't find it. I don't get it. I didn't get it when I walked in the room, and I got it even less on the way out.
Why were the people there? They're there because it's part of the New Hampshire phenomenon. You go visit all the candidates.
This group actually has this. It's sort of assisted living. It's all kinds of seniors, but they invite. They have a voting nominee or a voting committee, and they invite all the candidates. So they get as many as they can. It is a well-informed group, and it's a mix of Republicans and Democrats.
Were you there for the whole thing?
Yeah.
So what's the agenda? I mean, what is he running on? I mean, what is Ben Carson's, I don't mean to beat this horse, but what is the...
I have no idea. I mean, he spends a lot of time talking about the history of America. He apparently he's steeped in American history, so he's very knowledgeable. He talks about, the coming of age and the, how America became great. But then he got off into this whole thing about how he hates political correctness and he's not going to be politically correct and politicians are filthy and dishonest. I mean, I was taken aback at some of the things he said.
So let me ask you to speculate before we leave him. If you had interviewed each of the 200 people in the room and said, so what's the central theme of the Carson campaign, what would people have said?
Well, I did ask people that, and frankly, I thought it was a little sad because some people were saying, well, I just really like him, and I said, what was it you liked? And it was hard for some of them. A couple of people like that, Sylvia Kennedy was really sharp and right on it, but they didn't really know. And one person said, he's not well-spoken. Now that is an understatement.
One last thought. John King from CNN, we asked the same question, what's the attraction a week or so ago? He said, for people who want the anti-establishment candidate, he's sort of the George H.W. Bush of Donald Trump, meaning politer. That comment about Margaret Sanger is not terribly polite. You buy that analysis, or that doesn't do it for you either?
No, I don't see this really going any further.
We have a minute left. Donald Trump, I think I get it.
Yeah,
Tell me what you think the allure is.
Well,
do you know him, by the way?
I think I met him once
Did your father
at
know
a
him?
Time magazine party that my father was also invited to, like 100 famous
What did your
Americans.
father think of him? Do you know?
I don't think he had, not too much.
So what's the attraction? What do you think?
Well, I mean, he talk about politically correct. He really is. He says things that are fresh, that are honest, that a lot of people agree with. Jim, the bottom line, he's highly, highly entertaining. He's amusing. He makes people laugh. He says things that strike, even if they don't want to admit it, they strike at a part in their hearts and their minds. They're thinking, yeah, let's kind of agree with that.
You know what's unbelievable also? I know you've talked a lot about the nonstop coverage. I'm watching CNN last night, the coverage thing. He says the word BS, but says it all out. Yeah. That was the topic of conversation on CNN almost the whole night, how he used foul language in a public campaign event. It's all Trump all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's why. And even to dare say, what was that movie that Warren Beatty was in, Bull something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where the guy, the guy dares.
Bulworth, yeah.
The guy dares to be like that. It's a little like that.
Good to see you. I'm so glad you went to Carson. I'm so glad you don't get it either.
No, I don't get it.
Emily Rooney, thanks so much.